Our guest today is Alissa Finerman, life coach, motivational speaker, and author of a soon-to-be best-selling book, How to Living in Your Top 1%. What does living in your top 1% mean?
Society talks so much about reaching the top 1%, having it be a competition. And I think the idea of living in your top 1% is that everyone who watches our video today can actually live his or her best life. So it becomes a mindset, a way of life, and a choice to deliver our best self, to live a life that you're passionate about, you're fulfilled, and truly when you wake up every day, you're excited. I think one of the important points is mindset. And obviously Henry Ford has a great quote, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And so these beliefs, or the story that we tell ourselves, ultimately our words and our thoughts move into our mindset and ultimately our actions and our results. And what we think is possible or impossible really becomes a reality. I do think it starts with values and what grounds us. And whether some people, their values are family, values might be respect, values might be intellectual stimulation or challenge or physical challenge or adventure, travel. There's so many different things, gratitude, kindness, abundance.
Yeah.
And I think once you're clear on that, and I think once you're clear on your strengths, identify them and realize what are you good at, and are you actually doing that on a daily basis. I think this is the whole process of clarity. What drove me to write the book was, one, I wanted to help people redefine success in their life, and I wanted them to think about this. I wanted them to think about the idea of what does it mean to live your best life, and what are top 1% moments for you.
I know from your background that you went to Cal Berkeley, you played tennis there, you were on the professional tennis circuit, you went to Wharton, you worked on Wall Street, and that is not the usual career path that leads you to writing a book and becoming a life coach. There was some turning point that took place. You said, this is not me, but finding the voice in a book like this is really what my life is all about at this point in time.
Right. And that was really during my time on Wall Street.
Okay.
I felt that I was getting further and further away from how I really define success.
Yeah.
And success for many people when they start is about maybe how much money you make, or your title, or your status, or what type of car you drive, or how many houses you have, where you live.
Yeah.
And I think once you have your basic survival needs met, you might continue to redefine what success means to you. And at this point, while I was working on Wall Street, success to me meant a little bit more about making a difference in the world, helping others, inspiring others, motivating others, being fulfilled and engaged by what I did.
So what did you learn from being a bond trader on Wall Street that you're now teaching to your clients or talking about in this book?
Right. Well, Wall Street is incredible. I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to just understand the markets and how that works. And I think that's a rare opportunity. But I think what I learned there is, when on the corporate bond desk, you have just a ton of information every morning that's being thrown at you from all of your traders who trade different sectors of the market. And what your responsibility are, you're really a conduit, right, from your desk to your clients. Being able to have a perspective, being able to see the bigger picture, but understand how the details fit within the context of a situation is pretty much what I do today.
You found your dream, something that fulfills you, and you're pursuing it with a passion. Now, all of that sounds great. For most people, getting to that point is a big struggle. So what advice do you have for people to find that?
Well, I think the first thing is to realize that it's fantastic to even be on that journey and to be aware enough that that is where you are going. So that, I think, is super exciting. I think the other idea is to remember that it's not a simple point A to B. It's not that once you get there, everything's going to be great. I think a lot of people think in terms of all or nothing. It doesn't need to be all or nothing. You don't need to be interviewing all day long to do this. Maybe eventually you will, but it's okay if people start small. From tennis, I think I learned the importance of mastery of the mind, which obviously I continue to work towards, but realize the importance and the power of words that we use, and really how we can control our mind and condition our mind, more importantly, to just completely remove certain words in terms of can't, impossible, should, and fill our minds with what we want to do. So I think the idea of mastery of the mind, getting back in the game, whether you win or lose, and then I think the idea of consistency. And I think many people, they look at the results and they say, ooh, I want that result. Oprah, I want to interview people and have my own talk show. I mean, there's someone that works more than 12-hour days
Yeah.
to get that show perfect with
Correct.
a huge staff. At the end of the day, being fulfilled, being engaged, being satisfied, being happy, you don't need to go to business school for that.
Okay.
And you know, there are people who are going to find excuses with everything. They're going to find why something can't be done. They're very familiar with the word impossible. But what we need to do, and anyone can do this, is study the what ifs, the why nots. People who make things happen. That's available to everyone. And so the question is, what are your top 1% influences? What are you reading? I mean, people who succeed and achieve, they read a lot. And so what are you reading? Are you reading blogs? By who? Are you looking at things from Harvard Business Review? What type of books? Are you reading biographies, which are all great?
Yeah.
But where are you getting your inspiration from? Are you in a mastermind group? We always need to try to recondition our mind, and we all fall into habits that we don't want to do. And I think it goes back to where we started the conversation. It's not about what we know, it's about what we practice.